Good morning, Alyssa. Are you working this morning too? I heard your husband Henry is a high-flying banking executive. Is it true? Surely you don't have to work so hard when your man's bringing in that much money. I fail to see why you'd be so desperate to sacrifice yourself as a corporate cannon fodder cubicle slave to a company that couldn't care less about you. If I were you, I'd be pouring all that energy into being the best stay-at-home housewife there ever was to make sure Henry had all of his needs provided for, if you catch my drift. If it was me, I'd sure as heck wouldn't be slacking on my womanly duties like you are. Oh, Henry is just so dreamy. He's so wasted on good-for-nothing corporate livestock like you. How on earth did you manage to bag yourself such a high-quality guy in the first place? I fail to see what he sees in you. If he's truly honest with himself, I'm sure he'd probably rather have a loyally devoted stay-at-home housewife like me as his wife. Good morning, Christine. Reading through your deluded fantasies first thing in the morning is so disgusting it's making me want to throw up. So would you kindly stop spamming my message box with your hate? Thanks. Huh? Disgusting? How dare you speak to me like that? Henry says he'll always love me whether I work or not. Oh dear, would you look at that? She accuses me of being delusional while coming up with ridiculous fantasies of her own. There's no way any man would ever say that, darling. Everyone knows men only look for two things in a woman: big boobs and good cooking. Are you sure all that working hasn't fried your neural circuits? You really should think before you speak sometimes. A high-flying stud like Henry, happy with a working wife? Now I've heard it all. My train will be arriving at the station soon and I have to make it to work, so I gotta go. Goodbye. Oh, how sad. You're such corporate livestock, you don't even have the freedom to message when you want to. That can only mean you probably don't have enough time to talk to your husband either. Oh dear, that poor man. Henry must be really lonely and sexually unsatisfied with you as his wife. If it was me with that ring on my finger, I'd become a stay-at-home housewife and listen to his troubles until the early hours. I'd be there for him whenever he needed me, his solid, dependable rock, his shoulder to cry on. Listen, Alyssa, don't you think it's best for Henry that you divorce him? At this rate, he'll be stuck with you for the rest of his life. Truly a fate worse than death.
Hey, Alyssa. I'm taking a late lunch break right now. What was that woman's name again? You know, the annoying one from kindergarten.
Huh?
You know, the one you said was a pain in the ass to talk to. The one who keeps insulting you, calling you stuff like corporate livestock, bugging you all the time with random hate-filled messages.
Oh, Christine?
Ah, that's it. So that was her name.
Did something happen with her?
Well, she's been waiting in the lobby of the bank all morning. She's only just left.
Jesus, are you kidding me? You mean she showed up to your workplace at the bank by the station?
Yeah, she was here until about an hour ago. I had a suspicion that was who she was, so I didn't go over and speak to her myself, but when I asked one of my coworkers to go over and see what she wanted, apparently, she pretty much ignored everything he asked her while staring at me as I dealt with another customer before suddenly getting up and walking out.
Wow, incredible. She must really have a lot of free time on her hands.
Is that all this is?
Gah, nope, no. I think there's actually more to it. I wasn't sure whether I should tell you about this, but if she's doing weird stuff like showing up at your workplace now, I think it's for the best that you know.
Know what? What is it?
I think Christine might be trying to steal you from me.
Steal me? From you?
She just showed up at your workplace, right? I think that from now on, at least for the foreseeable future, you should operate under the assumption that you're being stalked.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yep, I'm serious. To tell you the truth, she's been sending me lots of messages recently that would indicate that's what she's trying to do. To be honest, a part of me suspected she might do something crazy, but I guess the rest of me didn't want to accept it. Then finally, the other day, I got a message that made it as plain as day that what she's trying to do here is cause me and you to get a divorce.
Man, I can't believe it. Christine, seriously? She's about as far away from being my type of woman as could possibly be. Look, to tell you the truth, I hate girls who act the way she does.
I know that, which is why I know there's no danger of you ever looking at her in that way, and honestly, I'd be happy just to ignore her if she didn't cause anyone any problems. But if she's already doing crazy stuff like showing up at your workplace while you're on shift, we might have to start proceeding with a little more caution.
I'll tell you what, babe. I'll explain the situation to my boss so that if she shows up again, he can be ready this time. Let's just see how things play out for now.
Yeah, good idea. It'll help if your coworkers know what she looks like. I'll be on my guard too. I'll let you know if she says anything else, okay? Sorry for keeping this from you, Henry. I just didn't want to bother you is all, but I never expected her to start acting like this.
Don't worry about it, Alyssa. I totally understand why you didn't tell me. All right, I have to go. Catch you later. Alyssa, that woman is totally insane.
What happened?
It's Christine. She started working at the convenience store across the road from the bank.
She started doing what?
When I went to the store before work to grab some sandwiches and a drink for my lunch, I was browsing the sandwiches when she slithered around the corner from behind me all of a sudden, wearing one of the store uniforms. Then positioned herself between me and the sandwich counter so we were facing each other head on, and there was like 1 centimeter between us, and stared at me intently with the creepiest, most spine-chilling smile I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, that sounds like something out of a horror movie. Wait a sec. So she suddenly has a job after calling me corporate livestock all this time? At a convenience store, no less?
Hey, that's a good point. Do you think she knows?
I'm guessing she started working there because she doesn't. I'm gonna do a little digging. Will you carry on keeping an eye on her for the time being? Make sure she doesn't notice you if you can avoid it, though. It's important we don't let our guard down here. There's no telling what she might do next.
Got it. You're right, Alyssa. You too, babe. Stay safe.
Hey, Alyssa. If I told you my plan to get closer to Henry was going amazingly well, what would you say? He is such a sweetheart. Can you believe he's been using his breaks from work to come and see me? But when I stare deep into his eyes, he gets embarrassed and averts his gaze. Isn't that the sweetest thing? My Henry is the cutest. I bet you never get to see his tender side like that, do you? Are you jealous? Go on, you are, aren't you? It's okay to admit you're in pain, honey. Anyone would be in your situation. Love is the most amazing thing. I don't need to hear any more about your absurd delusions, thanks. Excuse me? Listen, Alyssa. It's becoming increasingly obvious to me now that you don't know your place. Should I put you out of your misery and tell you? My place? You seem totally oblivious to it, but you should know that you're already well on the way to being divorced by a hunky Henry, and living a life of despairing isolation and poverty as a single mother. The wheels are in motion, my dear, and there are no brakes on this train. As for me, my future as Henry's wife is already a dead certainty. Everyone knows that to have a rich, handsome husband is the ultimate status symbol for any woman. Basically, soon I'll have reached the peak of female excellence, and my status will be higher than all of the moms at kindergarten put together. And obviously, this part should go without saying, but it's your job as the lowest IQ moron of all the moms at kindergarten to follow my orders and do exactly as I say. That's why I hereby order you to divorce your husband. Hand him over. He's mine. Wow, this is really quite something, Christine. You know, just because you just got divorced yourself doesn't give you the right to go around trying to get your claws into other girls' guys. Huh? What the hell? What are you talking about? Me? Divorced? I didn't get divorced at all. No. That's not how this goes down at all. What's actually going to happen is that once mine and Henry's engagement is official, I'll be filing for divorce with my husband, but not a moment before. That convenience store across the road from the bank Henry works at, you started working part-time there a little while ago, right? Huh? How do you know that? According to my conversations with the other staff who work the same shift as you at the store, You've been going around seemingly half bragging about how your husband divorced you when he found out you had another boyfriend, and how you didn't have a choice but to pay him every cent of the compensation he demanded from you in court. You told them all about the circumstances leading up to your divorce with such boldness and forthrightedness that it almost seemed like you were proud of it. The reason you suddenly got a job after ridiculing me for God knows how long for being a working woman while extolling the virtues of being a stay-at-home housewife is because you suddenly owed your ex-husband massive amounts of compensation after the divorce and no longer had anyone to support you. You had no choice but to get a job and actually support yourself for a change, right? No. Oh my God. Wait a sec. How did you... That's not all. You were constantly bragging about how your new boyfriend worked at the bank across the road. You wouldn't have happened to have been talking about my husband, Henry, would you? It's actually impressive that you're still totally oblivious to how much you disgust him. To quote him, "She makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end." Your visits to the bank have even gotten so bad that his co-workers have been forced to talk to you several times and are now considering banning you from the premises entirely. And yet you still don't have a clue how unwelcome you are, do you? No. You hold your horses for just 1 second, Missy. What the hell is this? Those were all personal conversations held in the privacy of the convenience store staff room. How would you know about them? You don't even work there. Yep, I knew it. You don't know, do you? I guess it was only a recent development. What was? I'm the area manager for every single store in the region. Huh? The hiring of part-time and temp workers is still down to the store manager, so I don't have any say in that. But come to think of it, I still haven't shown my face at the store while you've been on shift, have I? Area manager? Wait, I've heard that title before. Aren't they even more important than the store manager? And it's you? Yep, it's me. In other words, I'm your boss. What? This is some kind of joke. You cannot be serious. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. You're fired. What the heck? Where did that come from all of a sudden? Listen, Christine, the thing is, I've been receiving constant complaints from the store manager about how you have an awful attitude and refuse to do any work at the store. You were so busy bragging about your alleged boyfriend working at the bank across the road that you thought you were above doing anything else. Like you were somehow exempt from doing the job you were literally just hired to do. You even went as far as harassing Henry's co-workers at the bank when they stopped by the store to buy their lunch by aggressively trying to extract information about my husband from them. Don't even get me started on when Henry himself came in. You followed him so closely you may as well have been glued to him. You weren't only reported to the store manager by your coworkers, but you even made other customers feel uncomfortable with your creepy, unacceptable behavior. Me? Reported to the store manager? I had him check the surveillance cam footage, and sure enough, your conduct at work was horrendous. So after stopping by for a meeting with the manager, we decided that you stepping down was the only realistic solution, because we sure as hell couldn't let you carry on working there. Oh my God, you're horrible. To think you're abusing your powers as area manager just because Henry is about to leave you for me? This is disgusting. I'll have you in court for this. That's your response to everything I just told you? Seriously? I guess I shouldn't be surprised after everything, but you still somehow managed to astound me. You should know that Henry has zero intention of leaving, nor divorcing me. Huh? What do you mean? Don't be silly. Of course he does. How can you still not get it? I literally just told you. You've been causing Henry a world of trouble, and he is sick of you. Me? He's sick of me? Want some proof? How about the fact he's barely been stopping by the store since you started stalking him every time he showed up? You must have noticed he hasn't been around as much, right? He hated you following him around so much that he started getting his coworkers to pick up his lunch instead of having to face you himself. What? No, but Henry loves me. Anyway, you'll probably receive official notice from the store manager soon. You're fired. We won't be needing you to show up for your shift tomorrow. No way, but I worked so hard to get this job, and I need the money. I just got divorced, goddammit. My husband even took custody of our son. My life's a dumpster fire, for crying out loud. I am barely managing to get by as it is. And now you're saying I'm fired? Ugh. I don't want to have to look for a new job. I worked so hard to get this one. In that case, you should have worked a little harder to keep a hold of it instead of using it as an opportunity to stalk my husband. Make no mistake, the reason for your dismissal is the continued refusal to do even the bare minimum of work. If you'd just done your job and not stalked my husband, I would have had no issue with keeping you on. But you're the area manager. Surely all it will take is one word from you and this whole thing would go away, right? Excuse me? Me and you were friends, right? We became best friends after meeting outside the kindergarten. Your husband took full custody of your son, did he not? Huh? Which means our kids, our initial point of contact, no longer serve as a medium through which I am forced to continue our relationship. I'll never have to tolerate you outside of kindergarten again, and I gotta tell you, Christine, I am super relieved by that. What? You're relieved? All right, I think we're done here. Alyssa, please wait. I can't cope on my own. I mean it. I'm all alone and I don't know what to do. See ya. I was shocked to discover the reason Christine initially got the hots for my husband is because he was the bank clerk who helped her make the compensation payment to her ex-husband after he divorced her. Henry, being good at his job, was naturally very friendly and polite to her and kept a smile on his face throughout the whole interaction. Christine, being completely insane, mistook that as him having a crush on her. When I asked Henry about it, he said he didn't even remember it. Eventually, Christine, after having her life smashed into smithereens by the mother of all deluded misunderstandings and an unhealthy obsession with other women's husbands, had no choice but to move back in with her parents in the middle of nowhere. However, around the same time, she got wind of the news that her first ever boyfriend had just divorced his wife. True to form, of course, crazy Christine interpreted this as him wanting to rekindle their old flame and spend the rest of his life with her. With that, she launched a stalking campaign so intense, it made what she did to Henry look like a warm-up. She lay in wait outside the poor guy's house every night before trying to force her way inside with him when he got back from work. When that failed, she crammed his postbox full with thousands upon thousands of love letters. Eventually, he was so terrified he got the police involved, leading to a restraining order being put out and Christine having to pay thousands of dollars in compensation. Before long, the whole town knew about her insane shenanigans, and her parents were forced to kick her out due to the shame and embarrassment. I have no idea where she is now, and to be honest, I couldn't be more pleased about that.
Hey, Abby, I've got pretty exciting news to tell you. Try and guess what it is.
You know I suck at guessing games. Can't you just tell me what it is?
Nah, come on. Just try guessing at least once. It'll be fun.
Alright. Okay, so did you finally get that new wig you've been contemplating ordering for a while now? Because if so, I definitely want to take it out for a spin to see if I want to get one as well. I just wasn't sure about the length of the hair and whether I wanted my hair to look that long. I mean, do you think it would suit me? I've always had shorter hair, like to my shoulders, so I didn't know if longer hair would look good on me or not.
B.
Oh, right, sorry. So, was I right?
No, not in the slightest. Although, I could get it for this occasion. It might look really nice with my dress.
So there's a dress involved.
Well, you can't have a wedding without a wedding dress.
Whoa. What? You're getting married? That's amazing. Who are you marrying?
Who? Well, it's Troy, of course. I have been dating him for the last, 9 months. Honestly, B, where have you been?
Troy? But I thought you two had broken up a while ago. You said that you weren't seeing him anymore because you got into a huge argument.
Oh, that? Yeah, I mean, we did go on a little break for a couple of weeks, but we eventually resolved it all and got back together. We've been incredibly happy ever since. In fact, he recreated the very first date we went on and then proposed to me at the end of it. It was so incredibly sweet. I mean, I had no clue that he was going to propose, so it came as a huge surprise. But of course I said yes. Despite our difficulties, we love each other so much, we'll be able to overcome anything that life throws at us. We're not going to argue over stupid things, and if we do fall out, going to talk it through together. I mean, after all, he's funny, sophisticated, smart, and extremely handsome. He's everything I ever want in a man and a husband. So why wouldn't I give this marriage a go?
Wow, sounds like you've hit the jackpot.
I know, right? Troy is so sweet to me. You've met him, so you know what he's like. He'll do anything to make people laugh and have a good time. It's what drew me to him in the first place. His ability to just have fun and involve everyone around him in that fun.
Yeah, I guess.
So we're thinking that we want the wedding sooner rather than later. So we're looking at a winter date. And we'll need to get the guest numbers in as soon as possible so we know how big of a venue we need to hire. So are you going to be bringing anyone? You know, like a date?
Well, maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, have you got a secret boyfriend you're not telling me about?
What? No, of course not. I've just kind of been seeing this guy for a few months now.
Well, why don't you tell me about him? I'd have loved to meet him. It's about time you find someone again. Derek was a jerk, but I'm glad you're getting back out there and finding new people to have fun with and potentially find that forever relationship.
Yeah, it is nice to have someone to call my own again. We were keeping our relationship kinda hush-hush, as we didn't want to jinx anything, and we wanted to get to know each other before telling others we were together. But I might see if he can come to the wedding.
Okay, that sounds great. Just let me know closer to the time what's happening. I'll make sure to earmark you for a +1 though, just in case.
Okay, thanks, Ray.
No problem. Anyway, I've got to go. I've got a few more people who I need to tell, but I wanted to break the news to you first, 'cause you're my big sister, and I share everything with you. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, talk soon.
Bianca, we need to talk, like, right now.
Ray, what's wrong? Why are you so angry? Has something happened with the wedding?
Oh, don't act as if you don't know. When were you going to tell me that your so-called mystery man is my fiancé?
Oh, so you found out about that then, huh?
This is a joke, right? Tell me this is a joke. You've not actually been sneaking around with my fiancé behind my back, have you?
Why would I joke about this? Me and Troy are properly in love.
But how has this even happened?
Argument with Troy and you two split up?
Yeah?
Well, he came to me to complain about it all and told me how horrible you were to him. Everything you'd said to him and every name you'd called him. And he didn't just stop at the argument. Troy told me every single little detail about your relationship and how he was glad to finally be rid of you. After hearing how badly you treated him, I decided that he needed someone who knew how to be kind and how to be a proper girlfriend to him. So, he and I started dating. It was going really great as well, until you two got back together. I can't understand why he would do that to me, as I know that I'm his one true love. It's just a shame that you found out about us before the wedding. I had something super special planned for the big day. It would have been amazing.
I can't actually believe you right now. You're supposed to be my big sister. You're supposed to love and support me and root for me in life. Not try and steal my fiancé from me for yourself. You've always been jealous of me, and I've not even done anything to deserve it. Why do you always have to try and ruin any good thing that comes my way? I mean, trying to stop me from marrying the man I love? That's just horrible. What kind of sister does that?
Whatever, it's your fault anyway. You're the one who's driven your fiancé away.
That doesn't mean you get to start a relationship with him.
Huh?
Even if Troy and I had never gotten back together, I was in a very serious relationship with him for a very long time. A good sister would recognize this and would never, and I mean never, decide to date him instead. Did you even think of how that would make me feel? How it would completely break my heart that the two people I love the most betrayed me in the worst way possible?
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? If he doesn't want you, then why shouldn't I be able to be with him instead? You know what they say, love.
And you know no loyalty or morality.
Who needs that when you've got the love of your life, huh?
I really can't believe you. I'm literally in shock. To think that my own sister would betray me in such a horrible way.
Yeah, whatever. You can go and cry somewhere else, okay? And considering the fact that you're obviously not going to want it anymore, I figured that me and Troy could just use the wedding you planned for ourselves. It's just going to go to waste anyway, seeing as you and him aren't getting married anymore. So I can just have it, can't I?
But I just can't understand how this has happened. Why would he do something like this? I thought he loved me.
Well, obviously, he doesn't. Anyway, it's no secret that I'm better than you in pretty much every way. I mean, as the older sister, I clearly got the better half of all of the genes, whilst you got the dregs. So it only makes sense that I should get the best things in life. I know that you're used to having everyone doing everything for you, like mom and dad, simply because you're younger. But it's about time you learn that life isn't always going to go your way. You don't get to just click your fingers and get whatever you want.
So that's what this is about. You're just jealous of me in general, simply because I'm your sister? Let me guess. You never wanted another sibling, did you? You'd rather have been an only child so that you could have everyone's attention whenever you wanted it. The fact that I came along must have really annoyed you then. Mom and Dad's attention had to be shared, and you hate the fact that you weren't the only apple of their eye anymore. But to go to such a length, stealing my fiancé for yourself, to try and get back at me, is just incredibly pathetic. And to think I called you my sister.
Whatever. I should be the one who everyone pays attention to. I'm so much better than you. I'm prettier, smarter, and so much more in every way. You're just all boring nobody. So it's no wonder why Troy loves me and wants to be with me.
Except he asked me to marry him, didn't he? He had every chance to ask you, but he didn't. Don't you think that says anything about how he feels about you?
What? No. He loves me. I don't know why he asked you to marry him, though I suspect it was so he could then divorce you and take all of your money so that me and him can build a life together.
Do you honestly believe that?
It's the only explanation. So, are you going to have the wedding or not? Because if not, then I want it so that me and Troy can finally confess our love for one another in front of everyone.
Oh no, I'm definitely not going to get married to that lying scumbag. He's all yours. But if you want the wedding, you're going to have to pay me back every dollar that I've spent on it.
What? Why?
I'm not paying for my sister and my fiancé to get married at my dream wedding. If you want the occasion, then you're going to have to pay for it.
Fine. How much was it?
Overall, it was $10,000.
$10,000? I can't pay that. No way.
Well then, I guess you and Troy aren't getting married then.
Wait. Fine. I'll pay it. But it'll have to be in installments. And I can't pay the first one until I get my next wage, which is at the end of this month. So you'll just have to wait. God, you're such a horrible sister. A nice sister would just give me her wedding. You're not going to use it.
I don't care. With how you and Troy have treated me, I'm going to get whatever compensation I can. Weddings are expensive, so I'm out a lot of money.
Well, like I said, you'll just have to wait for it.
Uh-huh.
Well, aren't you going to congratulate me for getting engaged? You're such a poor loser. Oh well, I'm sure there are other people who will be happy to congratulate me. Oh, and I think it goes without saying that you need to stay away from Troy now. He's mine. I don't want you anywhere near him.
Oh, and you don't need to worry about that. I want nothing to do with that loser anymore.
Great. Well, see ya.
Hey Ree, is everything okay? We haven't spoken in a while and the wedding is tomorrow. You're not getting cold feet, are you?
Oh, Troy, it's you.
Is everything okay?
No, not really.
What's wrong?
Well, why don't you ask Bianca? She knows what's wrong. Although, you probably have quite a good idea as well, now that I think about it.
Bianca? What are you...
Finally remembered, have you?
Look, it was all a huge mistake. I was upset and angry when we had that huge argument. I was just looking for a little bit of comfort.
With my sister?
I'm so sorry. It meant nothing. I promise.
Well, you might want to tell her that because she thinks that she's marrying you tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, well, she thinks that you love her and that you actually want to be with her instead of me.
But that's not true.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't care what you do anymore. I'm not marrying you and I'm not going to be with you at all.
What? Why?
Seriously? You went behind my back with my sister. I don't want to be with someone who would betray me like that. I deserve so much better than that.
But the wedding is tomorrow.
Well, a wedding is tomorrow. It's just not ours.
Please, Rhea, take me back.
There's just no way that I can trust you anymore. I'm sorry, Troy, but that's the truth.
I see. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I. Goodbye, Troy.
Rhea, what have you done? What's going on? Where's all the wedding guests? I mean, my wedding guests. There's just a bunch of strangers here, and the venue isn't letting me into the building. Also, I haven't seen Troy anywhere. What's going on?
Oh, Bianca. Yes, about that. I talked to Troy last night, and whilst he didn't deny that he did date you for a while, he never actually wanted to marry you. After I told him that we were through, he decided to go traveling to try and clear his head. As for the people at the venue, it's a wedding.
What do you mean?
Well, with the wedding called off on such short notice, there was no way that I was getting my deposits back on anything, so I decided to advertise the wedding online to see if there was anyone who wanted it. That's when Molly and Damien contacted me, telling me that their venue had pulled out on them at the last minute and that they would be so grateful for the wedding. So, of course, I gave it to them. I mean, everything was paid for, so it might as well be used.
Ugh, why would you do that to me? You knew I wanted to marry Troy, but you scared him off and gave the wedding away.
You really need to get over it. Troy didn't want to marry you, so you need to stop thinking that he is your boyfriend.
But,
And as for us, we're no longer sisters.
what do you mean by that?
I don't want a sister who is so jealous of me that she will try to sabotage every good thing in my life. I don't trust you anymore, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. I hope you have a good life, but I won't be involved in it anymore.
Hang on, Rhea. You can't just do that.
Actually, yeah, I can. Goodbye, Bianca. Even though it hurt me to cut my sister from my life, I knew it was the best thing to do, as I could no longer trust her. After the whole ordeal was over, I decided to do a bit of traveling myself. I needed to clear my head after the betrayal by the two people I trusted the most. I'm slowly coming to terms with everything, but for now, I'm going to focus on myself and make sure that my life is how I want it to be. Who knows? I might even be able to make it down the aisle next time.